Hello, everyone, and warm welcome back to Leena AI Podcast. My name is Kush Saxena. I head the business for Leena AI for the Southeast Asia region. Um, our latest edition features Nico Bambao, Vice President People Experience at Globe. Thank you so much for taking out your time and joining us, Nico. We'd love it if you would briefly introduce yourself and Globe Telecom to the audience today.
Okay, thank you, Kush. Again, it's an honor to be part of this podcast, and I always look forward to our sessions with Leena AI. So, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Nico. I've been with Globe for almost 6 years now, and Globe Telecom has moved from just being a telco in the Philippines, being the leading mobile provider. Now we're really moving towards a tech company aspiration so that we are able to really sustain the business. And more than sustaining the business, it's really making sure that we're able to uplift the lives of the Filipino people, going beyond simply just providing the telecommunications piece, right? So it's really making sure that we're available digitally in all the needs of the people. So from financial technology, ad tech, health tech, and even entertainment, we want to be there to support our fellow Filipinos. I'm very happy to be part of Globe because being true to its promise to move towards techco, we've always been empowered to experiment and check on what latest trends we can usually utilize to make sure that we also take care of our people, because if we don't get to take care of our people, we'll never be able to really support the rest of our Filipino people, right? So there, I'm currently heading people experience, and my role is really to make sure that we're able to not just support our employees, but at the same time come up with the latest, game-changing platforms and experiences that will really inspire them to propel the organization forward. So back to you, Kush.
So yeah, thanks a lot, Nico, for a quick introduction and telling us a little bit about Globe. I've traveled to Manila multiple times in past few years now, and every time I'm there, I hear that what you just said, right, about the people of Philippines, the Filipino people. They resonate the same sentiment about Globe Telecom, the whole Ayala group, that you guys are doing pretty good work in the local
Thank you.
market. And yeah, the folks are really happy. In fact, Globe is one of the leading telecom providers in the Philippines as well.
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, can you also share us? Can you share with us a brief overview of your career journey and how
Mhm.
you've progressed to your current role as Vice President of People
Mhm.
Experience at Globe?
Okay. As mentioned earlier, I started close to 6 years ago. I was initially hired just to handle HR communications, but when I was being interviewed by our CHRO, he assured me that it will just be a door opener for me. And tada, after almost 6 years, I've expanded my role, not just handling HR operations, meaning compensation and benefits. We have labor relations. Uh, what else? Learning operations. We even have HR technology, HR communications, employee experience. Anything that has to do with dealing with people and making sure that the experience in their entire journey is quite seamless, and at the same time the experience is consistent, so that we're not siloed in terms of functional pillars. That's how much it has grown, and I couldn't be any happier because Globe has always been very generous in seeing the potential in the people and giving them the right opportunities at the right time. Of course, there's going to be a lot of hard work along the way, but definitely worth the hard work, worth the nights where you really have to just stay up and take care of the people. But yeah, a lot of purpose driven opportunities that really make me fulfilled at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And I think, like I said in the beginning, right, we've been
Mhm.
connected for close to 3 years now, more than that, talking about the whole initial discussions that we had. And now
Yeah.
you are one of the, murky clients and partners of Leena
Mhm.
AI in the
Yeah.
Philippines. I've interacted with your team, and one thing that I clearly see coming out from them is that, like, on the words on the point that you just mentioned, that Globe Telecom as an organization gives this opportunity to employees and to
Mhm.
talent out there, whether maybe you're not from an HR background or from an IT, but they still see the potential in you, and then they go ahead and give you that opportunity, which is good and great actually for a place to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, though I did mention that we've been working for more than 3 years now together as a partner and a vendor. I quickly wanted to understand from you that Globe has obviously gone through a significant digital transformation in recent years, right? So, could you elaborate on the key drivers behind this transformation and the major challenges and changes it has brought to the company's operations?
All right, so let me start with the organization. When I joined the organization, initially it was really just focused on Globe being a telco provider in the country, right? But the journey in terms of really moving towards a tech company has started for I think more than a decade already, because we know that if we will just bank on the telco business, it's going to be tough to compete and even sustain the organization. That's why we started thinking about what is our vision. Our vision is really to make sure that we're able to make the dreams of the Filipinos come true, right? Whether you are an individual user, you are a small and medium enterprise business, we're there to support you. That's why, if you've heard of Gcash, we started Gcash not just during the pandemic where it became a double unicorn organization, but the financial inclusion or the fintech aspect of the partnership with the organization, with Globe specifically, it has propelled us forward because the objective was just to utilize the platform of the telco business and make sure that the other applications or other aspects that we want to touch on in creating that digital lifestyle for our Filipino people is there. So we started with Gcash, and we were very, very lucky during the pandemic that people really embraced it in terms of paying their bills, buying their online, groceries, or even from the e-commerce shops. And we were very surprised that people really embraced it, because prior to the pandemic, people were quite apprehensive. Do I really want to use a mobile wallet? I'm not sure if my money will be safe there, etc. And tada, after the pandemic, GCash just grew and it continuously grows. But we're not limiting ourselves to Gcash anymore. So we also have our ad tech, we also have our health tech. That is something that we want to, we're actually envisioning it to be the next unicorn as well in the Philippines. So it's called Consulta MD. And if Gcash was focusing on making sure that we're able to have that financial inclusion across the nation, where you don't have to go to the bank, submit many forms, get your account approved before you get to save or borrow money. With Gcash you can just do your loans and other services and savings and transactions there. Now for the Consulta MD, which is the specifically the health tech rather, the objective is also to make sure that we're able to reach even the farthest portions of the country to allow them to have teleconsultations in case they need help from doctors. I'm not very familiar though with the updated numbers, but previously I think only one doctor is assigned for every 100 Filipino group. So imagine how difficult it is to really reach a doctor in case you need someone. So a lot of areas in the Philippines, probably they're just utilizing their own medicinal or herbal approaches to curing themselves. So that is also the ambition. So generally our objective is really to give back to the Filipinos and making sure we're able to hit specifically classes D and E, because we know that there's still a lot more to give. And of course, it will be a bonus to us as an organization, if we become very, very profitable. But the end in mind is really beyond profit, beyond the revenues. It's really making sure that we're able to uplift the lives of the Filipinos, because at the end of the day, they will be the ones supporting us and becoming ambassadors of the brand. And I will now shift it a bit to the HR digital transfer.
I wanted to take the analogy of doctor that you said, right? One doctor for
Yes.
100 patients. And I'm going to take that analogy and put it into an HR perspective. One HR for 250 employees, right?
Or even bigger.
Or even bigger, right? For a company size that you are, more than 10,000 employees, Obviously,
Mhm.
you have a huge HR team, but when you look at the numbers, I'm pretty sure it comes around 300 or 400 employees to one HR, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Now, yeah. So with that, how do you resonate the same into your, the journey of transformation, digitalization in
Yes,
HR?
yes. Well, digitalization is very, very powerful. And I, I get this question a lot. People ask me why I shouldn't be afraid of, transformation or digitalization because they fear that if there's technology, they will probably lose their jobs. But my mindset is different. When you have the technology, you have the power to eliminate administrative, repetitive tasks and make sure that you're able to hone your existing manpower complement in HR, improve their skills, make them more strategic, and make them very, very ambitious in terms of what else we can do. So every time I deliver speeches about digital transformation, I always tell them there's always two ways, of looking at things. One is more on the optimistic, and the other one is more on the pessimistic. And I'd like to focus on the optimistic view of things. That, of course, nobody can replace the heart of a human being. So no matter how great your technology is, if you don't mix it or if you don't combine it with the heart of people, HR will not be HR. It will just be you talking to a robot, talking to whatever technology is out there. So we will always have that role in the digital transformation. It's not just about copying what's available out there or what's the best practice out there, but it's making sure that you maximize the technology, but you add the heart to make sure that you continuously have that human side in terms of delivering your services. So that has also been the journey in HR. It was a bit tough, of course, in the beginning because people thought that, hey, I don't want to talk to a bot. I want to talk to a human being because prior to the digital transformation, prior to our partnership, people were calling us via Viber, WhatsApp, social media platforms, via email, via SMS, calling us in the wee hours of the night. And it was tough. It was tough, especially on my end where I had to oversee the people experience side. So how do I make sure that all my teammates are saying the same answers or at least giving the right answers to people? Or how assured am I that people are really being taken care of? Of course, if there are people who are part of my team that are, very, very young and energetic, you get a different kind of treatment versus somebody who has been tenured, etc. So that's what I really wanted to espouse. So that's why I was very, very happy and fortunate enough that even during the pandemic we were able to roll out this partnership with Leena AI because I was able to eliminate the multiple channels that they were using to reach us as an as an HR provider, right? HR service provider. And I was able to improve the overall experience. So it's not that I didn't want people to reach us immediately or using multiple channels, except that I was not assured of the overall experience. And I'm not even sure if I can monitor all the transactions. That was the most, you know, pressing issue that I had, especially during the pandemic. Imagine people were calling you having issues with COVID, with their family members, their health needs. How do I make sure that everybody gets attended to? And that was the power of digital transformation. So, yeah, the population ratio, meaning one is to I don't know how many. So we have close to 8,000 employees. So imagine in our team we're just around 25 organic employees. So imagine the ratio who will be answering all these queries. So similar to Globe as an organization. The objective is not just to earn revenue or not just to deliver our service as HR service providers, but it's really constant improvement in changing the lives of our people as well. The big dream really, Kush, is to have that self-service capability so that anytime they have questions, I need to call the hospital, for example, you can just chat the bot and the bot will be there even though we're all sleeping. They can get the number of the hospitals or the hotline that they have to call. And
Yeah.
yeah, I can sleep better at night because of that.
Awesome. I think the crux that you can sleep better at night because there is a solution who's taking care, or there's a platform which has human like sentiment, taking care of the queries of your employees when an HR is not available. I
Yeah.
think that's the crux. Good. Now, the next question to you, Nico, is on the similar lines. Now, we've seen a lot of research suggests that the HR teams are making giant strides in their roles more strategic while using the AI, the generative AI, quote unquote, right?
Mhm.
Now, do you believe this is true? Well, I think before even you answer that, I'll answer it for you. I think you do. But could you tell us how do you see HR roles changing in the present and in future using the generative AI?
Mhm. Well, I'm a big fan of generative AI, so it has also improved my, productivity as a professional. But specifically for HR, it has really helped me. Well, to answer your question directly, it has already changed our lives, meaning the administrative and repetitive tasks have been slowly eliminated. I don't have, like, for example, let me give you a common case in Globe. They would usually ask us, when would the payroll be credited? Or they would probably ask, how do I file a loan? So imagine getting these questions multiple times would really consume one person's 8-hour day. Very, very, it would really consume it. It would really consume their day a lot, right? So imagine if we're able to carve that out. So for example, if you're answering those questions, say 50, 60% of the time, if we're able to eliminate that, you'll be able to focus more on the bigger things. And let me tell you, like, for example, for talent acquisition, we're now moving towards improving the overall experience, and you even utilizing AI for interviewing people, or interviewing candidates, making even the scheduling of the interviews. Previously, we had to talk to the hiring manager, when will you be available, and then talk to the applicant as well. Then you try to match their schedule. But this time, you get to shorten the entire process and just focus on what's the next big thing that we're gonna do. So I really love the power. I think we've started, but there's still a lot more to do, a lot more opportunities to explore. So I'm very, very excited as to what else we can do. And as coach, we're very, very competitive in coming up with trailblazing practices. So
True.
I do hope, and I am very, very confident with the generative AI era, if I may call it. I think the possibilities are just limitless. It's really up to us to drive what would be our next priority and how else can we maximize. I'm even open to experimenting and trying new things. If it doesn't work, we fail fast. That's what's important, right? But what's important at the end of the day is we continuously upgrade ourselves, level up the way we do things, and just maximize what's out there.
No, absolutely. And one thing for sure is that Globe is one of those companies who always put their employee experience first. So
Mhm.
yeah, and when I say employees, not just your power users or your employees who are asking these questions, your HR are your
Mhm.
employees as well, right? A team of
Yes, yes.
25, 30 that you have. So
Mhm.
obviously, if they are receiving these kind of questions which are repetitive and mundane and consuming close to 60 to 70% time, you said, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, it makes more sense and more strategic for Globe as a company to replace this time being consumed in answering these mundane questions to automate it, so that that
Mhm.
time which is taken out, HR can now put it in more strategic
Yep.
conversation with employees, right? Then making
That's
it
right.
more transactional in nature.
Yep,
Absolutely.
that's right.
Yeah. Now, talking about people experience, one of the key challenges when it comes to investing in technology for employee experience is
Mhm.
getting the leadership on board. Um,
That's true.
how does one go about showcasing value to them?
Well, based on experience, it's crucial that we start with the pain points. Crucial to start with the pain points, highlighting how much or how many hours are being spent on mundane tasks. Next, what is the big ambition? Where do we really want to bring this? And of course, we always have to come up with a business case. But at the end of the day, what really drives the approval is the overall goal. Why are we doing this? What's in it for the organization? And over the years, I've seen that it has really worked as long as we're able to really show what we really wanted to do, what we wanted to happen, and just go through the due diligence of selecting the right partner and making sure that they're able to at least address the
Yeah.
basic needs of the organization. Then there we're able to get a lot of support from them, and even for the actual launch and utilization, we even get their support as long as they see the value to it. And of course, the most important part on our end is we have to make it work. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to ask for support in the future. But at the end of the day, as long as they see, like, for example, we're able to improve the overall efficiency of the team, the quality of the service, it will not be perfect, especially during the first phase, right? There's going to be a lot of iterations, a lot of improvements moving forward. But at the end of the day, as long as you see progress, as long as you see changes in the overall operations, you just get the support.
Absolutely. So, Nico, my last question to you would be, as a leader in the industry, what advice would you give the other companies or leaders who are looking to enhance their organization's employee experience?
Mhm. All right, probably I'm thinking about two or three points, right? The first one is dream big.
Okay.
Okay, it's very crucial for you to dream big for your people, not because you just want to spend or whatnot, but if we're not able to take good care of our people, how do we expect them to take care of our customers? So the customer experience that we want our people to show our customers will really have to emanate from within. If they don't get to experience it internally, for example, we're talking about being a tech company, but they don't get to experience everything is manual internally. How do we expect them to really live that kind of mindset, or even have that kind of experience being shown to our customers? So dream big. And of course, when you say dream big, you also have number two, to take care of your people. Make sure
Yeah.
that they are productive, they are equipped with the right tools. You make their lives easier as well. So
Yeah.
it's the advent of technology right now. It's crucial that we utilize. It doesn't mean that you always have to get the best of the best outside, but you just have to start somewhere. What would be your biggest pain point? Focus on that. Because if
Yeah.
you're able to carve out that particular pain point among your people, they will thank you for that, and they'll be happier, they'll be more productive as employees. And third, don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. There will be times that you'll probably fail, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, just keep on pushing, stand up, and just continuously iterate on things, and things will just be better.
Yeah.
I've always believed that it's better to have done something than not to have done something at all. So that has been my mantra in the organization. And it has really worked for us. I understand that even our financials right now have tremendously improved, and I think directly or indirectly we have been supporting our
Yeah.
people so that they can also give back to the organization. So hopefully I was able to answer your questions, Kush. Is there
No,
anything else?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Nico. And I completely resonate with your sentiment here. I mean,
Mhm.
you can think about a lot of things, right, in life, but it's the execution that really matters, right? So, yeah,
Yes.
it was lovely. Thank you so much once again, Nico. This has been amazing. Thank you for taking your time in doing this for us and with us today. Um, I wish you a great day ahead, and a happy weekend as well. And I hope we can do similar podcasts in future as well.
Yes, looking forward, Kush, and thank you so much again for inviting us. It's always been a
Thanks a lot.
pleasure joining all of you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Nico. You take care.